Would you like to learn how really good, really smart attorneys became so good at questioning witnesses and cross-examining witnesses during trial? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. There's only one true, tried and tested way for an attorney to become really good at questioning witnesses during pretrial testimony and, importantly, at the time of trial. And that is by taking hundreds and thousands of pretrial depositions. Now, a deposition is a question and answer session given under oath. It's part of the pretrial testimony that goes into every single civil case involving medical malpractice cases, accident cases, and wrongful death cases. And during those types of cases, what will happen is we now have an opportunity to question the people who we believe did something wrong and were careless or negligent. Only by questioning witnesses every single day, only by going in and doing these pretrial testimonies, are we able to formulate questions, are we able to think about different ways to ask the same exact question. Can now we begin to truly gain the experience necessary in order to properly try a case. And that's something that you don't begin to realize as a young attorney. So if you do 10,000 depositions, you will be an expert at questioning witnesses. If you've done only 10 or 20, you're going to be less of an expert. Now, if you've only done 5 or 10, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be good at doing what you're doing, but there's a very good chance that the attorney who has done 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 depositions are going to have just a bit more experience when questioning a witness and learning what strategies and tactics to use to attack that witness's credibility. For example, when you're questioning a witness on cross-examination, you never want to give that witness an opportunity to answer why. Doctor, tell us why you did that. No, no, no. An experienced attorney will never ask that question unless they don't care about the answer. Instead, you want to ask leading questions. Doctor, isn't it true that on June 1st you saw Mrs. Gonzalez? Yes. And on that visit she complained of the following problems. True? Yes. And because of her history, it was important for you to evaluate her ongoing complaints. Isn't that true? Yes. And one of the first things you should be thinking of when she makes those complaints are lung cancer. Isn't that true? And now, doctor, tell us, what are the risk factors for lung cancer? And doctor, aren't there certain standards of medical care that you're aware of in a patient who's suspected of having lung cancer? Certain diagnostic tests that you, as the treating doctor, can now perform to either rule in or rule out that type of cancer? Yes. Now let's go through and see exactly what type of treatment you rendered, doctor. And now what we're doing is we're setting the doctor up to, number one, establish what the standards of care were, and then later on going into his notes to determine what treatment he rendered to the patient to see whether they conform to the standards of care that the doctor just told me about. So now, how do you learn this? You only learn it by doing it over and over and over again. And only then will you recognize that when the attorney is at trial or questioning a witness, you begin to see that they have a clear understanding of what strategies to use, what tactics to use, and how to question the witness in the best possible light for your own particular case. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in the litigation process in these civil cases. You know, I realize you're watching this because you probably have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in the state of New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, G-E-R-R-Y, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.